Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be exploring something that, honestly, I think a lot of us are grappling with these days.
Mm.
Um, how do we build a lasting legacy for future generations when the world seems so unpredictable?
Hmm.
It's a question that hits close to home for a lot of us, especially when we think about the kind of world our kids and grandkids are inheriting.
Yeah. It's a really different way to think about legacy than we used to.
For sure.
Like, we used to think about passing down things like property or savings.
Right.
But, the world's changing so fast that those things just might not be enough anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think about 85%
That's crazy.
of the jobs that'll be around in 2030 haven't even been invented yet.
Yeah.
That's just like mind-boggling to even think about. And then you add in things like, all the economic uncertainty that's going on and climate change, and it's easy to feel pretty overwhelmed about what we're leaving behind.
Yeah. And what I find really fascinating is that this anxiety that people are feeling, it's not just about material things.
Okay.
It's about equipping the next generation with the right skills and the mindset to navigate a world that's constantly changing.
Exactly. It's like we're moving away from the idea of, that stable career path, the one our parents had,
Right.
and more towards like this constant need for adaptability and lifelong learning, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
But what does that even look like?
Well, that's what's so interesting. We actually came across a really inspiring story about a woman named Lyndon Thorpe. Have you heard of her?
I don't think so.
So she's someone who really embodies this idea of embracing change.
Okay.
So at 70 years old, she reinvented herself as a successful digital entrepreneur.
Wait, she started a whole new career at 70
I know.
online.
She did.
Tell me more about this.
Yeah, so she went from retirement with just a modest pension to earning a steady income online in just 9 months.
Wow.
And get this, she taught herself how to build websites from scratch.
That is amazing. And it really shows you that, it really is never too late to learn new things, especially in this digital age. But, what was it about this whole online world that kind of drew her in?
Well, it seems like, she really recognized that the future of work is becoming more and more tied to this digital world.
Mhm.
And she wasn't just thinking about herself.
Right.
She saw how many people were struggling.
Huh?
Especially younger generations with things like job insecurity, not having those essential skills, and this growing gap in technology knowledge.
So she saw a problem and decided to be part of the solution.
Exactly. She saw an opportunity to empower other people, especially young people, to help them thrive in this new digital world. And that's what led her to create this program. It's called The Millionaire's Apprentice.
Okay, The Millionaire's Apprentice. What is that?
Well, it's this program that, and this is what's so cool about it, it directly addresses the anxieties that we were talking about earlier. It focuses on mentorship and digital skills training and building this really supportive community, all the things that people are really looking for in this uncertain world.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. What's so important about mentorship, especially in this context?
Well, I mean, imagine trying to navigate this whole world, this digital world, without any guidance.
Right.
It can be so overwhelming. Mentorship provides this crucial support system. So you have someone who's been there, who's done that, and they can offer advice, they can offer encouragement along the way. It's like having a guide, in uncharted territory.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Hmm?
And you mentioned digital skills training. Can you maybe give us a little more detail on what kind of skills we're talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, these are skills that are honestly becoming essential
Hmm.
for pretty much any career you can think of. Things like, website development, social media marketing, content creation, data analysis. I mean, basically anything that helps you understand and utilize technology in a really effective way.
Yeah, so it's not just like knowing how to use social media.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how to leverage technology to create opportunities,
Exactly.
build a business, or even just navigate the modern workplace.
Totally, yeah. These are skills that can help people adapt to, this crazy job market that's always changing, and they can create their own path, even if, like we were saying before, those jobs haven't even been invented yet.
Right. So what about this community aspect? What role does that play in all of this?
It's all about connection and support, right? So the Millionaire's Apprentice program, it creates this space for people to learn from each other. They can share their experiences. They can build relationships with people who are, like-minded. And it's that sense of belonging that can make all the difference, especially when you're trying to learn new things and step outside your comfort zone.
That's a really good point. Having that support network, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
it sounds like this Lyndon Thorpe, she really tapped into something crucial with this program. But before we get too far into the specifics of The Millionaire's Apprentice, I'm kind of curious about how she even came to create this and what inspired her.
So she did something really interesting to kind of gauge what people were really thinking about, legacy in the future. She actually posted a poll on LinkedIn.
Oh, a LinkedIn poll. I love those.
Yeah, right? So she asked, what's the most essential gift you want to give your children or grandchildren this Christmas?
Oh, interesting. What did people say?
Well over 1,500 people responded, which is pretty amazing.
Wow, that is a lot.
I know. And while financial security was a top concern at 42%,
What?
a combined 50% chose either education and skills or the freedom to choose their future. Only 8% said opportunities for growth.
That's really interesting. It kind of shows that people are starting to realize that, it's not just about handing down money anymore.
Right.
It's about giving them the tools and the freedom to create their own success.
Exactly. And when you look at some of the comments that people left, it really drives the point home even more.
Okay.
People were talking about the importance of adaptability and critical thinking and all those all important digital skills that we were talking about earlier.
Right. Okay. So we've got like this whole shifting landscape where traditional ideas of legacy, they just don't cut it anymore.
Right.
We've got this growing awareness of the importance of skills like adaptability and digital literacy.
Yeah.
And then we have Lyndon Thorpe, who like at 70, not only reinvented herself in the digital world, but then created this whole program to help other people do the same.
Right.
This is so fascinating. I'm really eager to like dive a little bit deeper
Me too.
into all of this.
Yeah, let's take a closer look at those responses to that LinkedIn poll, and really see what people are saying about the challenges and the hopes that they have for future generations.
Let's do it.
It's amazing. Like when you read these comments, it's like you're really getting a window into people's like hopes and fears, for their kids and grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
There was one commenter, Lisa Harris, who's she's an expert in leadership development, and she said it perfectly. She's like, it's about creating this this balanced legacy, one that includes financial security, of course,
Right,
but also emphasizes things like education, opportunities, and that freedom to choose their own path.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's not like an either situation. It's about like giving them this well-rounded set of tools to really navigate, whatever the future throws at them.
Yeah, and Tiba Al-Khalidi, she's a business consultant. She kind of added to that, saying that all of those things, those elements, are just absolutely essential for shaping a brighter future for the next generation. It's like everyone's kind of coming to the same realization.
Yeah.
Like you can't just rely on those old ideas of legacy.
It's interesting because even though we're talking about the future, so many of these comments were focused on these like very real and present concerns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like people were worried about like job security or not having essential life skills.
Right.
Or falling behind, technologically.
Yeah, and several people actually specifically called out education, and skills as being like this really key part of building this strong legacy. Like one of the commenters was David Pugh. He's an investment specialist. He just said education all the way. Yeah.
I like that. Straight to the point.
Yeah, totally. And Romero Salgado, he's a business coach. He chimed in saying that opportunities for growth and education, those are priceless gifts, because they can shape a brighter future, one that's filled with all these different possibilities and independence.
It reminds me of something my dad always used to say. He always said, knowledge is power.
That's so true.
And it feels like even more true today, given how rapidly everything is changing.
Absolutely. And, it kind of ties in perfectly with another theme that came up a lot in the comments, which is the importance of freedom of choice.
Yeah.
So Tony Tricos, he's a financial advisor. He said, like, he believes the most powerful gift you can give is that freedom to choose their own future.
Yeah.
To empower them to really find what they're passionate about and create their own path.
I love that. It's not about like giving them the roadmap. It's about giving them the like confidence and the resources to like explore and experiment and discover what it is that they're meant to do in this world.
Exactly. And then Melinda Campbell, she's a business strategist. She kind of echoed that same sentiment.